What's cracking with your snacking snacker stars? It is me, the BRE, the man in the backwards hat, Brandon from the SAS, the Snack Food Appreciation Society, coming at you once again on a Tuesday for OTR. Today I'm at one of those type of places that has two different names depending on where you go. Well, with that, they have two different steak sandwiches, whether you go to one or the other. What is it? Where is it? What am I talking about? I'll be right back right after this on OTR. You are looking live at Checkers on Shady Grove Road in what some consider to be Gaithersburg and others consider to be Rockville, Maryland. There is the drive-through, rather long and extensive, and then there's an offer for a 2 for $4 sandwich deal, which I did not get. I got a different 2 sandwich deal, and that's because they got 2 new sandwiches this week here at Checkers. They're basically the same with a couple alterations. Let's check out number 1, shall we? And no, it's not a Kool-Aid slushie. What we have here is their Philly cheesesteak, and that one, it comes on a toasted hoagie roll with some kind of chopped up steak in there, seasoned grilled onions, a Montreal au jus mayonnaise, and this one's supposed to have Swiss cheese in it, and I guess that's what that is up in there. Not really sure. $3 for this bad boy is not a bad deal in terms of what I'm looking at, but let's take a look at the other one that also costs $3. And this one is simply called the Loaded Steak, and once again it's supposedly on a toasted hoagie roll, though it's not all that toasted in my eyes. Got more of that steak in there, more grilled onions, but you also have the addition of onion tanglers, and it does have the Montreal au jus mayonnaise, and apparently a white cheese sauce rather than Swiss cheese. And I think that's apparent in there, right there. This one also $3 or 2 for $6. And of course, I got talked into some of their famous fries and a drink to round out my meal at about $9.01. All right, guys, I'll be right back right after this to check out this meal and more from Checkers. All right, guys, of course, I was talking about Checkers and Rowley's. There is no difference between the two of them, as we know. Let me go ahead and pick up the first one, the Philly cheesesteak. I actually should have only gotten the loaded one because this one looks kind of like the Snickle Fritz to me. Looks similar to me to the one I got at Sonic a few months back. That was about $4 and not bad for a $4 steak sub, but I think it was on a hot dog bun. At least this isn't just a regular old hot dog bun. This is actually, you know, a nice steak roll, so to speak. But it's, or a hoagie roll, but it's just not actually toasted like they said it was going to be. All right, guys, I'm going to take a big old bite of this one or two and let you know what I think about it. That was surprisingly tasty, guys. It had a lot more seasoning going on than I thought it would. That is actually really surprising. These are advertised nationally at $2.49, but it's definitely worth the $3 already, starting out with this one at hoagie roll, building from the bottom to the top. While not really toasted, it's nice and chewy. It's not just like a regular old, you know, out of the bag grocery store type of roll. It's a little bit better than that, and I appreciate that. The flavor is not like out of the park on the roll. It's just basic, but still the texture goes a long way, and I appreciate that. The steak itself is chopped into very, very fine bits. I don't know if that's the way it is, if it comes in a bag that way or something and they cook it that way, or if they just actually cook steak and chop it up that way. I'm hoping for the, you know, the latter over the former in this case. But it's nice and well seasoned, and it goes very well with that mayo au jus, the Montreal steak au jus mayo. That's it. And yeah, of course, grilled onions go very well with steak, and in this case, they're not quite as grilled as I would like them to be, but they're still pretty darn good. I can't tell you whether this is Swiss cheese or whether this is a cheese sauce. It's so melted that it's practically a sauce anyway. It doesn't have a particularly Swissy flavor, not a lot of sharpness and dryness going on there, so I'm not 100% sure about that. Wrap the whole thing up and think you got some mayo on there. Pretty darn tasty. I'm gonna go ahead and wait to give you the actual rating on this one until I try the second one, but so far so good by Checkers, let's go ahead and pick up the loaded steak, show that to you a little more closely, and next to my noggin, the way I always do. I think I failed to do it on the first one. I apologize. Alright guys, a lot going on with this one. My breath is going to stink when I get home. Well, gang, that one was considerably more busy, but not necessarily better. It seems to have more ingredients. It's a little more hearty. That's for darn sure. You already know my thoughts about most of the ingredients on this thing, including the steak itself, the hoagie roll, etc. This one, with the addition of the tanglers, it makes it another textural experience altogether, because you get the little bit of crunch from the tanglers, and even though they're not as crispy as maybe they should be, they're still crunchier than the regular grilled onions, and they give it a double onion kick that also lends towards like a Southwest kind of flavor too. You know, like when you get Southwest egg rolls or anything that's called Southwest at a chain store, usually has a particular flavor. That flavor is residing in those onion tanglers. Then you got, of course, that Montreal au jus mayo. I think I need to get a hold of some of that, because that's really good. I'd love to have some on a burger. I probably already have here at Checkers, come to think of it, but I mean a burger that I make at home. I would love to have usage of that for that purpose. Also, the cheese sauce is definitely sauce in this particular case, because it's runnier than what was on the first sandwich, and it's pretty darn tasty, thicker, you know, stuff like that. So putting it all together, $3 cheesesteaks are not a bad thing, guys. You know, there's a Jerry Subs and Pizza right down the road. They certainly have better cheesesteaks every day of the week. Every one of the cheesesteaks in Jerry Subs and Pizza is better than these two cheesesteaks, but you're going to pay a little bit more. So if you don't quite have that, you know, dime, you're trying to stretch your dime out a little bit more, it's not a bad substitute, but I would go to Jerry's 9 times out of 10, that's for sure. All right, guys, so what am I thinking about on ratings? The Philly cheesesteak, the first one, I think I'm going to go ahead and give that one a 3/4 of a thumb up. That's a really darn good one. And I'm going 7/8 of a thumbs up on the loaded steak version of the steak sandwich here today from Checkers and Rallies, wherever you happen to be. Thanks for watching OTR, guys. Make sure you check out the Extra Mile on Patreon right after this. Click on the link in the description to become a Snack Society Facebook supporter, and you'll be able to get exclusive content every week. This week on the show, you're going to hear about some of the things we'll be reviewing this coming weekend during the WWE Stomping Grounds pay-per-view, the things that you'll be seeing released on snack briefs and stuff like that over the next several weeks. So stay tuned for that. Also, ladies and gentlemen, check us out on Facebook. Join the group that started the whole movement. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that link in the description down below. Become one of the 1,000 of the coolest people in the whole world. Why haven't you done it yet? Be dialing anyway. Make sure you do that. Also, check out myself on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Brandon Reich SAS. Make sure you use the handy hashtag Snack Society all day, every day. That way you know what we're eating, and we know what you're eating too. Like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell to be notified. Dang, I'm kind of lucid today. In the meantime, in between time, we'll see you next time. Bye.